live audience, I got Zaytoven, I got Drama Boy Fresh, two of the biggest producers in the game right now. Hey, and it's an honor, it's a privilege to have both of y'all here. You know what I'm saying? And I want to start with you, Zaytoven. I want to ask you, pretty much just give us how you started in producing, how you got here, and just tell us how you got started in the music business and how you started producing.
Is the mic on? I don't hear
Yeah,
it.
you
Okay,
on,
all right, bet. So how I got started. So me getting into music started from me being in church. You know what I mean? I grew up in church. My dad's a preacher. My mom's a choir director. And, you know, I spent a lot of time in Mississippi. So when you living like that and your dad's a pastor and your mom's a choir director, you in church all day long.
Right.
So me learning how to play instruments came from me being in church all the time.
Okay.
So as I got older, man, I continued to play music, continue to do music. Then I started getting into trying to make beats just for the fun of it. You know what I mean? Just making beats for the fun of it. Before you know it, I'm in my room recording, you know, on a karaoke machine. Got my brother, my cousin rapping on it. And all this was for fun, man.
My bad, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to ask you this. When you said you started trying to make beats, what sparked that? Did somebody already have beat machines there, or was it like, hey, we gonna link up and this is something I want to do?
So back in the day, at the football games, I went to this school called Galileo High School in San Francisco, California.
Okay.
I used to bring my keyboard out there and play songs that you probably hear on the radio or whatever out there at the football games.
Okay.
And my buddy playing the drum. So we had a crowd just jumping off of what we doing.
Right.
A guy by the name of JT, the bigger figure, from San Francisco. He was one of the biggest guys in San Francisco. He saw me and said, hey, bro, I need to take you to the studio and this and that. He took me to his house, taught me how to work the drum machine and put it with the keyboard, left me at his house all the time. So that's what sparked me for start making beats.
Dope,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we never knew that.
Yeah,
never knew that.
man.
See, I want to get that rawness because it's a lot of independent artists that aspire and a lot of producers that aspire, I know, to be like you, because I know your base is huge and humongous, and people, you know, your story inspire a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to ask you the same question, Drama Boy. How did you get started in music? You know what I'm saying? What sparked that for you?
Man, for me, I got into music, man. My pop was in the orchestra, you know what I'm saying? My mama was in the church, you know what I'm saying? She was in the opera and church choir and all that. But, like, my older brother, Insane Wayne, man, R.I.P. Big Bro, he really, like, introduced me to my first studio, you know what I'm saying? And really took all of the music knowledge that I already had and just showed me how to make beats. You know what I'm saying? Because I was playing keys for him. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, man, I ain't got no samples, man, play some. You know what I'm saying? And just put me in the studio and whatnot. And I was playing like some James Bond shit I heard. You know, I would always play by ear and just replay shit I heard on the TV or radio or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I seen him make some money off of something I played for him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, where my money? You know what I'm saying? Like, but Big Bro like showed me how to make beats, introduced me to my first studio, and it was up from there. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to ask you this question. You're from Memphis.
Oh yeah, born and raised.
Okay.
I ain't get to Atlanta till like 18, 19.
Okay. And Zay, where you originally from?
I ain't know originally, man. I was born in Germany. My dad was in the military, so I moved all my life. So I was Mississippi, California, North Carolina, Georgia. So I've been all over.
So you're a military
brat. Yeah.
That's hard.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. When did you knew you had first, like, hey, this is it for me? Like, I'm finna do this music and producing full time. What was it?
Man, that was a real slow process for me because now I remember, you know, in San Francisco I had my first big song with like JT, the bigger figure, on his album. I thought that was something big, but I still, you know, felt like I need to go to work and have a job and this and that.
Right.
I moved to Atlanta. My first big song was So Icy.
Okay,
you know?
So when you was working, where was you working at?
I cut hair. I'm a church musician, so you know when you a church musician, you get paid for playing and everything. Right. Then I cut hair.
Okay,
so you know I'm a barber, so it's like those two jobs allow me to do other things as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, so when So Icy came out, I feel dang, I got the #1 song on the radio. You know, right now in Atlanta. I still didn't feel like I made it, or you know I need to quit working. Right. So years later, come OJ the Juice Man come with Make the Trap, say, hey, I still feel like, you know,
So
I'm
when
working.
you said you didn't feel like you made it, I want to know why you didn't feel like you made it. Did you not get money from that situation?
Definitely got money. I got money. I made more money than I ever seen or my parents seen at one time.
Okay.
But you got to think, I'm used to seeing my mom and daddy get up and go to work every day.
Okay.
So I felt like making beats and doing music was fun for me. That's like a hobby.
Right.
Of course I made some money doing it, but you know how this stuff go. It's like, that don't mean it's going to keep happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kept going to work. After, I had so many songs that come after that. I even had Usher Papers, and it was #1 at the time in the
Right.
country. And I was still at the barbershop cutting hair because I still felt like, I don't know if this going to keep happening. You know what I
Right.
mean? I made way more money off of that than, you know, my whole family ever seen.
So when you say way more money, do you mind giving us like maybe like a dollar figure?
My first check was $101,000. You know what I mean?
On which
on
song?
papers.
On papers.
Now, so Ice, you got to think that was like $30,000.
Right.
You know, after that, a 40, 50. Even
Right.
those are big numbers coming from, you know, a family
So
like mine.
When you
Yeah.
first jumped in the game, you started off making.
Man, I was selling beats for $200, $150 at first. You know what I mean?
Because I want them to understand the grind, because a lot of artists and the producers, they'll come in and be like, bro, I need 5,000 for my beat, and they ain't never been heard of.
It took forever. It took forever for me to even charge 5,000 because I was scared. Like, I wanted to get my product to somebody. I didn't care about the money.
Right.
I used to go drop off CDs with 40 beats on them.
Okay.
I'm talking about to artists, and if it's somebody that's known, here, take these beats. Hopefully you rap on them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want you to rap.
So
You
that
know what
was
I mean?
the grind.
That's the grind,
Is
man.
that still the grind?
That's still the grind. It's
Okay.
still a lot of, you gotta think, it's so many artists coming out now. It's so many producers. There's so many people that's doing the same thing you doing. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So a lot of times you gotta see if your stuff gonna cut through. And if it's not gonna cut through, if you just holding on to it saying, I'm waiting on somebody to give me a whole bunch of money for it.
So how long did it take before you finally got that big check, from when you started making beats to when you first got that big check that's over 10,000?
Well, that was So Icy. So I started making beats in 98. And then So Icy was 2004, 2005.
So it took you about 6-7 years
Yeah.
before you finally got that first check
First
over
check.
10,000.
Yep.
So that was the grind. I
Yep.
want to ask you the same question. When did you first knew, hey, I'm out of here, and what was that first big check? What record?
Man, for me, it was a little different. Like, it was stepping stones. So coming out of Memphis, you know what I'm saying, I came up with Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did 4 tracks on the Life album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's I think that was Gotti's second album. You know what I'm saying? And bam, once he did Back to the Basics, I did a song on there called When You See Me Shout It, Pop You Collar, Then You Holler, That's What's Up.
Hey.
What up, drummer? Hey,
Hey.
what up, mama?
Hey,
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
come on.
So bam, that was like one of the big street songs that really put me on as far as niggas knowing me for the horns, the anthems, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then I followed with Tila.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This was my first song on the radio. Tennessee, 23s, I keep it clean, man. Tennessee, in the land of goody good at Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? And that was me on the hook. So I'm 18, fresh out of high school, doing the hook for Tila. You know what I'm saying? And because my brother was getting 2,500 a beat, I came in the game getting 2,500 a beat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The first money I made was off of selling beats at high school. You know what I'm saying? Just bass tapes, $100 tapes.
Okay,
You know what I'm
$100
saying?
tapes.
$100 tapes. So it started off that grind, but as far as placements, you know what I'm saying? Tila, I got 2,500. I did 3 beats, so they cut me a check for 7,500. I remember meeting Jay Prince in the office. He was trying to sign me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
like, man, I got a
Hey,
30 for you. I got
what
a 40
happened?
for
What
you.
happened? Why you ain't sign?
I was like, man, come on, Jay. I work with too many people,
Right,
man. You know what I'm
he
saying?
ain't come big enough.
Yeah,
huh?
you know, Ball, my nigga, Fly, my nigga.
Now, if everyone quiet down for a second, we're trying to deal with something on the stage. Thank you.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying, Jay Prince, you know what I'm saying, he respected me for that. You know what I mean? And that's what got me in the door with Red Boy. Shout out to Anzel Jennings, man. My dog Scarface. You know
What's
what I'm
up?
saying? I did a junk called Never for Scarface, you know what I'm saying? And then I did Stacking Paper for Jody Breeze and Slim Thug.
You want me to tell y'all what's crazy? What I noticed? If you notice right now, Atlanta and Memphis got the sound right now, definitely coming out the South in the sound of the world. And it's funny, it's not that it's even ironic that Gucci Man and Yo Gotti is some of the biggest moguls in hip hop right now today. And that wouldn't even have been possible without you two.
No, for sure.
That's crazy. So we got, and the issue that I have in music, we always look at the artist, right? But guess what? The song, the verse is only 50% of a song. The production is the other 50% of the song.
Sure.
But the producers don't get the credit, you know what I'm saying, that the artists get. And without that sound, who knows? But you done heard a lot of different people rap over the same beat, and the song is still hot. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Then for real, like, I think we get our credit. I get mine, you know what I'm saying? I think we get our credit, we just don't get the same marketing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas could be calling us out on stage, you know what I'm saying?
For
I
sure.
say Zayden done hella shows with Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Gucci known for it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But a lot of these, you know, other guys we might work with, they might not call you for the video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They might not let you know when the video is and whatnot. So as a producer, you know, you gotta make sure you say something on that motherfucker, man. Put your, bigger than a tag, you gotta put your voice on that motherfucker. You gotta be on the hooks. Them hooks is what kind of got me in the picture. You know what I
Kind
mean?
of like what Tay Key doing right now. He making sure his songs is featuring Tay Key. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel, what y'all think about that? You know what I'm saying? With the producers featured on the record.
I think that's a big thing that's going on now. You know what I mean? To make the producer almost an artist.
Like Metro Boomin.
Yeah. I always, you know, I got in the game being a producer because I wanted to be in the background. You know what I mean? So a lot of times the things I'm doing now, like being featured Zaytoven or Zaytoven featuring all these guys, I'm doing it because that's how the game is moving and you got to do it that way.
Right.
But I always felt like being in the background is what helped me last as long as I done lasted. You know what I mean? Long as you got that sound that people want and they, you know, they want to come get it, they gonna come looking for it.
It speak for
and
itself.
it makes, you know, I think it's to some extent having some mystique makes you bigger. It makes it more grand, you know, to me. So, you know.
Let me ask you this, and I want to veer off real quick because I know you into this, and this is where I'm going into in the next year. What made you start doing film? Because I know you done had Birds of a Feather 1 and 2, and I don't know if I'm missing something else. But I know you done had those two out on Netflix where people can go watch and they can go see it. What made you decide to get in film?
Because now we living in a time where, like you saying, you gotta be seen, like how Drum Boy saying, you gotta get on the hook, or you gotta, you know, so people to notice who you are. Notice who you are.
For your brand.
So, for your brand, just to build your brand. If you want to make some more money, if you want to get bigger, then that's the things you got to do. I'm reserved. I'm a guy that want to be in the background, but as long as I kept doing that, I was missing out on money. My name wasn't getting as big. My brand wasn't getting as big. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna shoot me a movie, you know what I mean, put on Netflix, so people that done heard my name over all these years that don't know what I look like, they gonna see, oh, that's Zaytoven right there.
For sure.
They can point out who I am.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So.
And I want to ask y'all both this. Before we start getting into questions and stuff like that, I want to ask y'all this right here. What's your biggest song to date? I want people to know that, if you can answer that.
Biggest song to date, No Hands, man. Ain't nothing topping that. That's been a decade song, still 15, you know what I'm saying, plus seeing just how many people been reacting to this song, really like 14, you know what I'm saying? But it's a blessing, man, when your music can be timeless and you see kids, you see grandparents, you see young adults, you see infants still moving to your music.
That's
you know
hard,
what I mean?
and I'm blessed to be a part of that situation as well, because I don't know if a lot of people know I signed Roscoe Dash when he did the No Hands with Walker, and that's when Gucci first got out of jail, and Walker flocking, Wale was all that patchwork,
first
and then
day
they got
out.
it in the whole nine.
Shout out to Reese,
T
man.
and Drika.
Shout out to Reese too, man.
Yeah, for putting that together.
My biggest song, far as selling wise, I don't know. It's like it might be Future and Drake, Used to This. It's a lot of songs that, you know, that went a couple of times platinum, but to me, my biggest song in my eyes will always be Make the Trap Say A with Gucci Mane and OJ, because it created Zaytoven sound. That's like, that's when you know, like, bro, that's a different sound. Whoever doing that, he got his own sound.
For sure.
And that's what Make the Trap Say A for me was.
That's hard.
Yeah.
And the last question I'm gonna ask you, if you had to give any advice to an upcoming producer and an upcoming artist, what would it be?
Find a way to be unique. Like, we living in a time, man, where everybody trying to sound like somebody else. Everybody want to look like somebody else. And I know it's harder now because, you know, because of the social media, it's hard to kind of separate yourself.
Right.
But I think that's the only thing that's gonna make it in the game. That's the only thing that's gonna last in the game is somebody being set apart and not mimicking what's going on. There's a lot of people that can make Zaytoven beats. There's probably a lot of people that can make some Drumma Boy beats.
Right.
But that don't, we still get the credit for that.
Right.
It's still gonna be like Zaytoven music.
So
you know
basically, the people that's emulating your sound,
yeah.
they need to be original and find their own sound.
It's finding your own thing, finding your own swag, and that's what the game needs. We need that more than we need anything else.
What would you say? You say the same thing for artists?
Same thing for artists, because artists are doing the same thing. Everybody rocking the same chains, everybody wearing the same type of clothes, they look the same, and they rapping the same.
They mimicking.
And they feel like they want to do it.
Right now
like,
it's the finesse two-time flow.
It's come on, man.
Yeah, I got it.
And they feel like, oh, it's working, so let me try to get in the game.
Right.
And sometimes you might get in with a song here and there, but that don't mean you're gonna last.
Right.
So.
What advice would you give to an upcoming producer and an upcoming artist if you had one piece of advice to give them?
Man, for me, it's always been the business end. Like, I always got 50% of a lot of the songs I produce. Okay. So, my publishing shit be crazy, you know what I'm saying? And that residual money, you know what I'm saying, always put me in another situation to stay relevant, to buy the new and next equipment. So I always keep that new sound along with all the eclectic pieces, you know what I'm saying, the antiques that we done collected along the way, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Another piece of advice I give to producers is to copyright your music, man. You sending music and emails to everybody around the world, man, and these folk listen to your music and, all right, flip this, move this, take this, you know what I'm saying? Everybody taking something. It's a take something business, you know what I mean? But when you got that copyright, that's what put me in position to at least fight.
So basically just understanding the business. They need to really understand the business that they get into instead of just jumping into it and just making beats.
Absolutely, man. Look up split sheets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You in the studio of 5, 6, 7 people. Everybody talking about they wrote something, this and that. All right, let's write the split sheets right now, so we know what it is. So when this song blow up, niggas ain't talking about, oh, I need 25, I need, and then the money held up. Don't nobody get paid till everybody agree on something.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about the business, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we all great, we create, and we gonna make classic music. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have amazing ideas. You know what I mean? If you riding in the car, record this shit on a voice note, my nigga.
Right.
You're not gonna remember everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I done seen niggas forget shit, be like, man, I forgot how the flow was going or what I said again.
Right.
Man, record this shit on a voice note or a voice memo. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
All right,
Capture
so
the moment.
look, before we get up out of here, because I know we kind of pressed on time, I want to take a couple questions from the people in the crowd. We could probably, that's about, maybe about 5 to 10 questions for Zay and Drumma Boy Fresh. You got one right here? Child, come, you got a mic already, child? You can turn the mic on and go from there.
So I go by the name of Double D College Kid. I'm from East Oakland, California. This question is to Zaytoven. Because you came from where you came from, you was all over really, but the Bay Area, you got a different sound. When you came to the 80s, you had to change your sound up a little bit to directly for the artists.
Well, then you from across the bridge.
Yeah.
So you see, when I first came, my first big song was that sound like it came from I was talking to E40 the other day, and that's where the inspiration came for the So Icy beat. I used to listen to E40 all the time. He had a song called Gasoline. I was like, bro, this is gasoline. That's what made me make So Icy. So, I still had that Bay Area sound and, music in me when I first came here, and I think that's what attracted Gucci so much. Gucci was like, bro, I love everything you do. So now, as time went on, and I started working, and Gucci started working so close together, the sound started changing because I'm not in the band no more. I'm in Atlanta, so I think it's a good mixture of the Bay Area music in Atlanta. That's what helped make my sound.
I want to ask a quick question. How did you meet Gucci?
I met Gucci, so when I first came to Atlanta, like I said, I was cutting hair, right? I went to the barber college, it's called Hair School on County Road. And I had a little studio in my mom, and my mom and dad. So everybody there, everybody want to rap.
Right.
I had a little studio, I made beats. I started calling everybody over. It was a guy by the name of Draven Lee. He was like one of my artists.
Right.
He knew Gucci. And he brought him over, and Gucci just came over, and he had a little nephew, like, man, I'm trying to get a song for my little nephew. Dude named Lil Buddy. Made a beat for him. Gucci went in there and rapped the song, showing his little nephew how to rap. And then for some reason, me and Gucci just started clicking. He started coming to record, and we was recording with each other every day after that.
That hard. That hard. Let me hear.
Go ahead.
How do people like take you in the music industry when like
Who you asking your question to?
sorry, Zaytoven.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for Zaytoven. So like when you was transitioning from like a Christian background to like, other music genres and stuff like that. Like how do people take you in the music industry? Like do you get like pushed back or like how do people look at you? How they look at you? You know what I'm saying?
Do you go to you a church church goer or your parents in the church or what is it?
Yeah, they are, but like
Yeah.
I'm Catholic.
Okay.
I'm Catholicism, but like yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest with you, the type of person I am, I was scared to even. I grew up in the church. In the household where I'm not even allowed to listen to secular music. Like my mom and dad didn't play that. So I remember my first time I was playing, I fell asleep and my music was playing. I think it might have been Red Man or somebody playing, and he just cussing the whole lot. My dad walking in like, nigga, like what in the world you got going on? You know what I mean? So I wasn't even allowed to listen to that. So when I started producing it, of course I was scared to showcase it. You know what I mean? Now, at first, when like Gucci just started coming over, I thought coming over, the house smelled like me, my mom, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got my first check, now, that first $30.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, mom, you gotta help me count this and that. They were like, they started asking me if my friends need some snacks or whatever, you know what I mean?
The Lord done blessed.
But it took, I'm gonna be honest, it took a pastor, the pastor where I'm playing at now. I still play organ in church on Sunday. He got up in the pulpit and said, he held a Gucci Mane CD and said, man, we so proud of our musicians. They told me he just executive produced his album, Hard to Kill by Gucci Mane and this and that. So it gave me confidence, that I can still, this is where God placed me at. God placed me to make this music. And if it's for rappers, trappers, whatever it is, this is my position, this is where God placed me. So now, I have no reserve about what I do, So.
All right. What's up? Next question.
Well, this is actually for the both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? What do you say to up-and-coming producers, coming from, y'all background and how y'all was, very blessed to be in position to produce for, some of the biggest names in the game. Like, I follow your career and drummers, being from Tennessee. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, so, the culture of music, we come from the land of funk, you know what I'm saying? So it's difficult to, I gotta move down here and go into Royal or people like, hey, I'm in beats and I'm a shit. So, how is it any way that you guys do internship or, y'all take up-and-coming producers up on your wing, you know what I'm saying? How do y'all adjust to that type of question? Or, when people come up to y'all like, hey, I'm an inspiring artist or a producer, you know what I'm saying? What kind of advice do you have for me? How do y'all, answer that question?
What's your question?
I know you did hard.
For an up-and-coming producer, what kind of advice do you have for those particular type of people in that position? That they start and they want that first check, like how Zay said, you know what I'm saying? That first 30,000, you know what I'm saying? Just people in that position.
For me, it was about blowing the nigga that's right in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I got in some trouble in the South from Black Haven. You know what I'm saying? South Bend. I got in some trouble. And my mom moved to Cordova when I was 13, 14. You know what I mean? And it blessed me because it put me in a sense of Raleigh, Bolton, Bartlett, all these other areas that we was playing in high school. So I'm moving around, I'm bumping the Gotti. You know what I'm saying? I never would have met him had I not been on the north side of Memphis.
So that's how you
You
make
know what I
game?
mean? Yeah, just moving around, hustling